So today was, as I was putting it to my friend last night when he asked me what I'm hitting tomorrow. Today's my leg day, because I hit legs every single day, but I hit legs every day to an extent. On some days I'm more conservative. Like yesterday, it was my bench day, so I was just building up to my daily minimum. Today I was doing more back off shit because today's my squat day. So I was doing a 3x3 at 205, which is like 80% of my max without a belt. You know, my lower back didn't feel great. I didn't feel very great. But that's the beauty of squatting every day is what's called auto regulation. If you don't feel good on one day, okay, like who cares? You're coming back the next day, so why does it matter if you're not feeling great, right? If you're having multiple off days continuously in a row, then you know something's off. But the principle of auto regulation is that if you're not feeling great, then you do what you do on that specific day relative to how you're feeling. So if you're feeling good, if you want to go for a PR, then do it. If you're not feeling great, then your workload should match that, right? But yeah, my lower back wasn't feeling too great today. It's funny how human beings just can be like on autopilot for like so long. Like when you're walking to class in the morning, like you're not thinking about anything. You're just taking the path I usually take to it, and you're not thinking about anything. You're just on autopilot the entire time. You're not cognizant of how many steps you're taking. You're not cognizant of like how many minutes it took you to get there. All you know is that there's point A and that there's point B, and that you're gonna reach point B. That's it. So it's funny that it didn't take me until after I lifted to realize that I skipped my warm up. Long are the days where I can just walk into the gym and hop under, the barbell and just start repping squats. Nowadays, I need to do at least like a little bit of some pigeon pose and some core work to just like get my trunk ready for what I'm about to do. Ever since I injured my SI joint, like I'm not taking any risks. I don't want to. I'm not as young as I used to be. I'm still young. Like I'm turning 20. I'm still young. I'm not as young as I used to be, I've dealt with a lot of injuries. But it's funny how injuries work. There's a Mark Twain quote that I absolutely love that I discovered recently. I'm a man of old age, and I have dealt with many troubles, but most of them never happened. It's so good. We are in our heads way too much, dude. I would say like well over 75% of the quote unquote problems I've dealt with in my life were just inside my head. Just me anxious thinking about the future. When you're going to college, I mean, shit, that's a scary thought. It's like you're wandering into the unknown. And then you get there and you settle in after a couple weeks, you're just like, wow, like that really wasn't that bad. You become accustomed to it. And all those scary thoughts you had in your head, anticipating what was going to go wrong, they never happened. Okay, for the most part, nothing really went wrong. In fact, at least in my case, it was pretty smooth. It was a smooth transition, So you're going to college, you have all these scary thoughts. Most of them don't even happen. It's the same thing with everything else in life. When I injured my SI joint and I was dealing with a lot of pain, I was thinking ahead like 6 months to the summer when I'm going to be in my home gym again. And those are the most fun lifts for me in my home gym because it's my environment. Like I control what I'm doing in there. Like it's funny transitioning from being an entitled little shit having my own gym to having to just deal with these people and how many more sets you got left. And I really just want to like suppress that, but I can't. Like it's like I'm cognizant of like how much of a little shit I am and how entitled I am when it comes to lifting, but it's ingrained in me. Like I want this environment to be mine and only mine. Besides having my friends over, then they can do whatever they want to. But besides that, it's like, hey, like let me use the squat rack. I deserve to use it more than you because I've lived. No, like, dude, come on. It's funny how like the mind just kind of just like automatically subjects you to these like thoughts, even though that you're cognizant that they're bad and that it's just like it's not healthy. You know, they're not good thoughts. You still think them, like the intrusive thoughts. Even though you're just like, brain, shut up. That's not very nice. You know what I mean? But literally, like, you know, I'm digressing here. When I was thinking about this summer lifting in my home gym, you know, the program I want to run this summer, when I was thinking about it, I'm like, how am I even going to do it? Right? What if like by then my lower back pain is still present? How am I going to lift? Well, you know, instead of worrying about it too much, I got off my ass. I researched what was going on. I went to a physical therapist. I ascertained what was injured, why, you know, how to fix it. And, you know, with some help, I fixed it. And the only problem I have now, the only negative to all of that was that I have to do a warm up before I squat that takes like 1 minute. But besides that, that's the only negative, right? That and I couldn't lift heavy in that period of time from when I was experiencing pain and symptoms. But besides that, I came out the other end with a much, 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 much greater expansive knowledge about the human anatomy. You know, I discovered what the sacroiliac joint was. Before that, I couldn't tell the difference between, all I knew was that the pelvis was the pelvis. I didn't know that there were ilium. I didn't know that there was the sacrum. I didn't know that the SI joint was what was connected them. I didn't know that it's the joint that takes the, you know, most of the brunt of the force from your upper body when it's being transferred down to your lower back, right? Or should I say, like, it takes the brunt of the force that's being transferred from your spine into your pelvis and then into the subregions like your femurs, your tibia, etc. I didn't really know any of that. All I knew was that, my lower back hurts. That's it, you know? So I walked away with a great amount of knowledge, and that problem I was dwelling over in my head, like, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to lift heavy this summer or ever again. There was no point worrying about it because it didn't happen. It didn't happen. We have all these problems inside of our heads, but most of them don't even exist.